There he is. Oops. Shit. Where are you? Hmm.
Yo,
Hi.
what's up?
Oh, you know. The usual.
So, my stomach has been weird, so I apologize in advance if I have to run to the bathroom.
Alright.
It's, I don't know if it's something I ate for, like, I'm not sick, but sometimes you just gotta go.
Yep.
So, I just took some Tums, so I'm hoping that does the trick.
Okay.
How's it going, yo?
I breathe.
Mm. Are you sure about that? I worry about the breathability
For the most part, I think.
and what it may do to one's soul.
Uh,
I was thinking the other day, how much easier life would be if we didn't have to breathe.
not exactly sure how you would be able to survive without breathing, but
I mean, I wasn't worried about the logistics or the actual reality of the application or lack thereof behind it.
mhm.
But like, think of it, like most of our diseases and illnesses, they're all airborne, man. They're all about like breathing out the evil disease and breathing it back in. If we had some way that we didn't have to breathe, it'd be so much easier.
Mm,
I know.
food for
That's
thought, but I don't think that will work out completely the way you think it will.
well, you're just a pessimistic poo poo brain.
Yep, that's me in a nutshell.
Mm. It's a good thing you got kids.
No, I don't think that helps the situation at all.
Or that makes it a reality.
Yes, a very painful reality. Now, come on, play nice. think that'll do. Got 3 minutes to go.
I need like a seconds thing on my. Does this actually have seconds? Can I change this?
Probably.
Adjust date and time. Come on, I want to do seconds. Add clocks for different time zones. No, I don't want that.
Oh,
Change date formats. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Ooh. Yeah.
that hurts. All right, so we now have just about 2 minutes until blast off.
I see 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Fantastic. Brilliant, even.
What are you doing, Dingus Bat? Yeah, you. What you doing? Come on, you can do it. Yeah, it's your box. You got this. There you go.
What the hell? Oh, whatever. Sorry, work-related thing.
Psh, work. What's that, sir?
No idea.
Oh, okay. So you're on the same page.
Yes. I think. Possibly. Who knows at this point?
What does one truly know?
Nothing.
That's unfortunate.
Agreed. All right. You ready for this shindig?
I'm dinging all night long.
All right. Then let's do it. Hold on one sec. Let me just make sure I move this real quick. Okay, here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Disjointed Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Greetings, sir. Do you know why this is an entertaining week in the history of life?
No, do tell.
Actually, I don't know if you're watching, but I've been highly entertained by this whole crazy Wall Street bets thing where like basically they're completely screwing the market of GameStop stocking with short sellers, and there's all kinds of potential lawsuits and craziness, and it's all kinds of crazy shenanigans.
It is indeed shenaniganistic in today's society. What's up, Sam Grizzle? Ladies and
It's
gentlemen,
the Sam!
ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific Conner himself, Zelius.
No place I'd rather not be on a Thursday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is a Thursday Night Hangout. This is a show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you with you during the show. If you haven't submitted a topic, question, etc., have no fear. You could still submit it right now. All you got to do is drop in the chat, and we will add it to our list of topics for tonight. If by some unfortunate happenstance we are unable to talk about your topic, we will put it at the top of the list for next week. All right, so Zelius, let's step right into it. Let's get right into it, shall we?
What are we going to step into? Is there something that I need to put on my shoes?
Possibly. We'll find out.
Okay, cool.
So the first thing is this is a question that we actually didn't get to cover last week, and that was there are always chances that when you see sequels for established franchises, that they may, of course, go from one platform to another. Obviously, there, you've got the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube, Wii U, and now the Switch. But how do you feel about sequels that are on, like, let's say, a console and then go to handheld, or PC only and then go to console only?
That's just weird sounding.
Agreed, but there are definitely examples of that out there. Ironically, one of the examples, one of the, I guess, the usual examples, which of course is now completely gone, is that for some reason they're right during the PlayStation 3 and the PSP's like high popularity moment, there were games that for some unknown reason jumped from the PlayStation 3 to go to PSP exclusive. There was never ever a later release of a sequel.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember the game off the top of my head. It was Valkyrie. It's not Valkyrie Profile. It's kind of like a tactics game. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Valkyrie Chronicles or something? I
something like
remember.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
you've played that, I think.
yes, I think I actually I had at some point owned both of them. I don't know if I actually decluttered one or both those copies. But
Hmm.
that being said, how do you feel about that? I mean, what is it as a supporter, as a fan of a franchise? How does it make you feel when they decide it's awesome that they're going to do a sequel, but when they completely change platforms and maybe even, I guess, instead of console, handheld or that kind of thing?
I'm probably thinking that, damn, that console developer really got one up. The console company really got one up for us. Because more than likely, it's a Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo paying a buttload of cash to make it exclusive to that console. So, yeah.
Okay, so
I don't really know of any examples where that's happened to me, though. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if that's been an issue that I mean, most games, like if they're a console exclusive,
yeah,
it seems like I just say exclusive to that console. I mean,
right,
it would be like, I mean, one of the most popular from the PS4 was Horizon.
Zero.
Yeah, I hate the title of the game. Great game, title stupid. But if you take that title, so if you, and then if the sequel, if also now it was an Xbox exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
or to your case, a Switch handheld exclusive,
Right.
you'd be like, huh? Yes, that'd be totally super bizarre. Um, Now, a game like that, though, where it's been shown on the PS4 is extremely popular,
Mm-hmm.
that is a game that could also, though, cause people to potentially purchase. Because, like, most likely, if you have a PS4 and you had Horizon,
Mm-hmm.
there's a pretty decent chance you're going to get a PS5 and get the next one that comes out. I mean, there's just a
Right.
natural progression there.
Right.
But all of a sudden, and now if you release it, let's just say on the Xbox or the Switch as an exclusive, maybe now you're getting a potential set of gamers on those consoles who necessarily wouldn't have because they're so invested in a game like that. Because that's
True.
the whole purpose behind exclusivity of your games. You're trying to move the needle on that console. Um, but as far as the really big exclusive like a Halo, the Horizon, you used to have that with Final Fantasies for exclusive to PlayStation, but not so
True.
much anymore.
Right.
But they're not exclusive like just to the Switch. If anything, they've just brought in through Horizons, which I appreciate.
Well, I think you're the only exclusives you're going to see, and of course, this is guaranteed. You've seen it before, and of course, it makes total sense. Is the internal studios? I think
Yeah.
the exclusiveness of a third party developer, that would have to be a shit ton of money, and if it is going to be exclusive, it's going to be a timed exclusive, where one console manufacturer is going to pay millions and millions of dollars for that version of the game to be exclusive for their console for the first like 5 months.
I mean, because it comes down to you have to look at it as that publisher doesn't make enough. I mean, they pay you basically. I mean, it's a simple spreadsheet.
Right.
Do you pay me enough in millions to offset the lost sales of selling it on this console?
Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense for internal developer. That makes sense
Hmm.
because oh well. But for a third party, I mean, Square Enix with their Final Fantasies is really the last I can think of who really had the big titles that were console exclusive. Um,
That was
and they're
third
not
party.
really anymore. But I know they're a third party, but
Yeah.
like kind of one of the last big third because they used to be prevalent,
Yeah.
the third party exclusive, but they were really kind of one of the last third party big time exclusives.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and it was. I can't remember. I think it was. Was it Final Fantasy 13 that Square Enix basically, because they had to break the contract with Sony. And that's what they did. Because I think they had up to 16 or something, and Square Enix is like, look, we'll take the penalty because we can make so much more money if we put it on a bunch of other systems.
Well, I guess the one exception would be, and it's probably just because of the nature of the game, would be Final Fantasy 14, Realm Reborn. Like it's not on the Xbox, but that's probably because it's the MMO. So now, if they
Right.
move that into the Xbox realm, now all of a sudden you're talking, it's one thing doing cross-platform between a PC and a PS4 or 5,
Hmm.
but now all of a sudden you throw the Xbox into the equation. That just really gets things crazy when you're talking cross-platform MMO. So that
Well,
would be my guess.
Sony doesn't like to play nice, so I'm pretty sure if you put an
That's
MMO on
yeah.
on Sony, Xbox, and insert other platform here, Sony would be like, "Oh, Microsoft is invited to this party. F this, I'm out."
Well, one of the big things with the PlayStation in general is accounts cross accounts don't work basically.
Yep.
Like Path of Exile is a big one. You can't cross between your PC and that one.
Smite,
Um,
Paladins,
there's another one that I saw
uh,
that I'm having a total brain
Warframe.
fart on right now. What's that?
There's no
Yep.
cross-platform for Warframe.
Yeah, they just don't like the cross platform. So it's like, yep, sucks to be you. Um,
Agreed. So
yeah.
there is one example that it technically isn't an internal studio, but it is. But it isn't. And that, of course, is the Pokemon Company.
Yeah.
They, of course, have made. Now, of course, they're still only on Nintendo. However, they do have certain products out there on the mobile devices. And they used to be exclusively handheld devices. Now, of course, they have Nintendo going, look, the Switch is a handheld and a console. We don't have to have an additional handheld. So Pokemon is now exclusively on Nintendo Switch.
Do your thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So I know it's a matter of money, but as a fan, it really sucks that
Mm.
I'm more okay with a series, an established series that's on the console, continuing on to further generations of that console. It
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know, it ruffles me the wrong way. Now, of course, handhelds are basically dead if they're not already dead, but except for Switch.
Yep.
But it would really ruffle my feathers if I were to, fall in love with this franchise that was on a console, and then they decide, you know what, we know that was super duper popular, but we're only gonna do handhelds now. That would, or it'd be like a big name franchise on Sony or on a PlayStation or an Xbox, and then the next one's like, we're deciding to go mobile.
You mean like Diablo?
I don't want to talk about Diablo.
Or the company that now is rehashing their history by apparently doing an HD version of Diablo 2?
Okay, so let's move into that topic. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you may have noticed that there's been some exciting news coming out of Activision Blizzard. The continuing, as I see it, now this, of course, let me preface this by saying this is my opinion. As I see it, once the Activision tick just bit down on Blizzard and started sucking the life out of Blizzard, it hasn't stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, you've seen a lot of talent from Blizzard leave. And there was an internal group within Blizzard called Team One, and they were in charge of doing the Diablo 2 remastered reboot. But unfortunately, they have been getting just destroyed with all the projects that they've been doing with like bad reviews and all that and such and such. The reason, of course, is that they're being pressured by their publisher, Activision, and they had to meet deadlines. So Activision decided, you know what, we're paying you guys too much. This is my opinion. That they didn't actually come out and say we're paying them too much. From my understanding or from my viewpoint, it looked like they're like, we're paying you too much. You're a bunch of veterans, and you're producing shit because you can't keep to our schedules. So be off with you. And we're gonna give this other studio, which I have nothing wrong with Vicarious Visions. They have done.
They've done great work.
They've done some great work, but at first glance, look, they've made a shit ton of games, but if you really looked close at their library of titles, they're all ports. They're very specific ports. They weren't like the headliner. They're the look. I worked for a company that did that as well when I back before smartphones were a thing. The company I worked for, we made ports of games for specific cell phone types. So it's not a bad thing. It's just very interesting that you basically dissolve that entire team. Now, those employees that were on Team One were given the chance to find other departments within Activision Blizzard, or they could just go to a different place. Many of them went to different indie studios. The big one that some of the talent went to is called Dreamhaven. And Dreamhaven is the creation of the co-founder of Blizzard, where I can't remember the tagline is. I'm going to have to pull it up. But let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I just want to make sure I get this right.
Because so I was trying to find. So here's my problem with this whole remake of Diablo 2 is they came out with Diablo 3, which was not particularly inspired. And then you have these other hack and slash homes. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Torchlight, but it's okay.
Which one? Really 1, 2, or 3?
Any of them. They're all just kind of too monotonous for my taste, personally.
Well, Torchlight's actually based off of what was it called? Fate, which but then it morphed into whatever that the server stress test for.
Yeah, I remember that.
Hellgate London.
Yep.
What was that called? Mythos.
And really the one that's kind of been setting the bar as far as originality is really Path of Exile. My problem with Path of Exile is kind of the graphics and the actual gameplay is just kind of slow for me. And Diablo still kind of fills that I'm a overpowered god type of feel niche. And I like that, but it's just kind of stagnant. And I feel like Diablo has a chance, or Blizzard if they wanted to, they've been passed by in the action RPG realm is really what it comes down to.
What? Because Activision likes money. They don't want innovation. They want money.
Oh, no, I'm not disagreeing.
No, I know.
It sucks.
I totally agree.
Because you have this opportunity to, instead of rehashing Diablo 2, come out with Diablo 4 and like reinvent the genre again. Because you have other, I was trying to find my phone. I forget what it is. There's another up and coming. It's in early access action RPG that everyone loves as like a blend between like the Diablos, the Grims, the Path of Exiles, kind of filters them all and does it the best, which is what Blizzard used to do.
Before they became part with Activision.
Yeah, it's just sad to me because, don't get me wrong. We all love Diablo 2, but it doesn't need a remake. They need to have, I'm of the opinion that they're better off doing a Diablo 4, except for I guess they're not, because then it would just be Activision anyway and would probably be terrible. So
no, we're looking. Look, what is Activision best known for? The publishing, and the publishing of what? Regurgitated titles over and over and over again. The money, yes. This is exactly EA's from the whatchamacallit. This is Activision's EA. They're both the same, okay? EA Sports, Madden, 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 Madden. Activision, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. They don't want originality. They want an established product with little to zero changes so they can make the money because they know that the brand by itself will make money. Yes,
Well, I would
there
agree
are
those games work though, because at least with the sports games, you can say it's a new year. The Call of Duty is at least a new version. I mean, we think it's lame, but let's be honest, kids still buy the heck out of it. We know
exactly.
that.
And there's going to be people who are going to still, as long as you attach the name Blizzard to the box, there are going to be people who have grown up supporting Blizzard who will continue to, even though it's not really Blizzard. It is Activision in a Blizzard skin suit.
Here's the problem. I think uh, my bold prediction is if they redo Diablo 2, it's going to be epic flop for two reasons. One is I would argue that as much as we lambast them, the Maddens and the Call of Duties and all those, they're at least a progression. They're not oh, let's reskin it and
It's a
re-release it.
roster update. It's a text file. It's not mind blowing awesomeness like reinventing
I'm not
the
disagreeing with
toaster.
that, but that's how people perceive it.
Agreed.
And it works versus a new one. But the point is, it's a yearly thing, so it's fresh in people's minds. A Diablo 2 is from our youth that people don't care about. The current buying youth don't care about that. And the other issue is that they tried doing this with World of Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, good gosh,
Warcraft 3.
It was
That's
epic.
And that's
fail.
why
It was
Team
terrible.
1 is gone. Team 1 was responsible for that. Because of strict deadlines, they were unable to polish it the way that Blizzard usually did back in the day. And so they're like, well, you're going to fail at this Diablo 2 remake that we're shoving down your throat, so you're out.
And I think the same thing's going to happen with the Diablo 2 remake regardless. I think it's going to be an epic fail.
I had I'm sure there's some people out there like, look, it's going to be sort of like when Bungie left Microsoft, but left the Halo franchise there. And so you move in, was it Studio 343 or 323? I can't remember what the number is.
Numbers.
That, like you said, that is an actual progression. They're not trying to remake it. And yes, there was a little bit of stumbling between, the transition between Bungie and the other company, but this is different. You basically, and once again, I have nothing against Vicarious Visions. I have nothing against them. But you're putting in a team that's known for basically just making new versions of established things, ports. I'm sure they have some very creative minds, but their rule book or the way that they've done business is you want this title to be on this console or this platform. We're that company. For better for worse.
It just makes me sad.
Agreed.
That, we grew up with a great Blizzard company of great products, and it's just gone to shit. And
well, let's be honest. Let's look back at first of all, Vicarious Vision's been around since like the mid '90s, so it's not like they just, this has been their business practice from day one. But you're right. If we were actually look back on all the games that we played growing up, and then also the companies that are attached to it, there ain't a whole lot of them left. I mean, I grew up on Sierra Entertainment games, King's Quest, Police Quest, Space Quest, to name a few. Yep. That ship sailed a hell of a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, these good games we used to love, and now it's like, haha, not for you, sir.
Which, once again, support your independent developer because they actually are putting their blood, sweat, and tears in it. Yes, there is a market for those individuals. No offense to anyone out there who plays the Call of Duties or the Battlefields or the Maddens. It's not my thing. It will never be my thing. But I feel that there are too few companies that will actually go outside the box, will try to be innovative, create something new. Because that's not what publishers want. They want surefire deals, which is one of the reasons why I wrote that article about the Hollywood bastardizing established franchises. They don't want to create their own stories. They want to steal stories they want to steal the names of franchises and then write some kind of warped reality fever dream into that universe.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay.
How do you feel?
Sam says Charlie hates Battlefield. Chris, first-person shooter of all time. Sad. Okay. Once again, my biggest issue with Battlefield and Call of Duty, besides the fact, well, actually, my biggest issue with Call of Duty is they kept spitting them out so fast. But my issue between like a Battlefield or a Call of Duty is I do not want to play a game where I might actually be doing stuff that could actually happen. I don't want to be in, like a Panzer tank blowing up some, I don't know, German army or play for the other side and having to kill allied troops. That does not give me the warm fuzzies. If I'm going to play a first person shooter, I want it to be futuristic and hopefully fictitious. For all I know, the Halo and Gears of War and all those games are just unfortunate precursors to what our actual future will hold. I don't know, but I'm just saying I want that ability to separate away from reality. And so I'm sure that Battlefield and all those other shooters out there are phenomenal, but they're just not for me. And that's okay. Sam, you love Battlefield. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't love Battlefield. That's not my place.
I don't know. I think you should tell Sam where to stick it when it comes to video games. That's what we're here on the show for, is to tell
No,
people how
we're
they're
trying
wrong.
to alter your confusion, not kill all other thoughts.
No,
Unless
I
that's
want to kill.
Zelius's role. I don't know. Zelius, is
I
that
don't
your role
know.
now?
I don't even know what my role is.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I'm just here to drink chocolate milk.
Fantastic. Okay, so there was a story that came out this week about one of the most popular online mobile games, and the fact that there was a hell of a ban hammer that was dropped.
Oh dear.
What was the number again, Zelius? Was it like
8,000 million?
that's probably close, but not actual number.
That's the game I was looking for.
Let's see. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. I want to make sure I get this right. The name of the game is, if my computer will load. Wow. Okay.
Well, I was gonna. So the other up and coming RPG I was talking about, as soon as I
Yep.
get back to my chat window, is Last Epoch, and apparently it's like a combination of all the great action RPGs. But again, it's a new game. It's not like a. It just kills me. It just makes me angry.
Okay.
But anyways, from anything I've read, check that game out if you're into any kind of action RPGs.
Noted. The game that I'm talking about is a game called Garena Free Fire. It banned over 30 million cheaters.
I never heard of the game. What was it called again?
Garena Free Fire. I'll drop the story link in the chat here. But they dropped. They dropped the ban hammer. So the question that was asked of me at my son goes to a cognitive learning center, and I was asked, with there's of course different approaches for banning players. Are you in favor of basically maybe the company keeping track of all these cheaters, and once they hit a certain number, they just do an instant ban on like the 20,000 users? Or are you in favor of, because that's the thing, would it be like I don't know how the ban policies are for these companies. Is it like one time and you're done? Because there are companies, and Twitch is, which of course we're currently streaming on, is guilty of this. You may or may not know that you're doing a bannable offense and get banned, and may or may not have the ability to, kind of argue your case. So, are you in favor of, I guess, 3 strikes you're out, or you get put in this group and everybody and their mother gets banned the next day?
I mean, it seems to me if you think they're cheating, then just ban them. I don't know why you'd wait for like one magical day to ban them, because it also means that for some indefinite period of time, people are also now having to play with these known cheaters.
Right.
So why not just go ahead and ban them? And how have I never heard of this game before?
I have no idea.
It has 30. It's in 2019. It became the most downloaded mobile game in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've never heard a single kid at school talk about it.
I don't know. Maybe they're all blocked on their phones. If a certain IT department's doing their job, Zelius.
Nope, they're all playing Activision's Call of Duty, sir.
Haha. No. But yeah, I find it interesting that usually, and maybe this is just because it's newsworthy, is you don't see. I think companies might actually kind of like corral all these cheaters until they hit a magic number, so that when they do like the massive ban, it's newsworthy. They're like, holy shit, they came down hard on 20,000 players in one fell swoop.
What I do find interesting is, according to the statistics, 31% of the bans result of player reports, which honestly to me seems really high. That A, they're taking that reporting seriously, and B, that resulted in bans. I mean, I've been in plenty of Overwatch games where people are like, dude, you're hacking. And it's like, no, he's just better than you.
Right.
And so that they take, I mean, to me, that's actually, I would think would be much lower, to be honest. But I mean, that's always a question also in online games is, does reporting matter? And in
Or
terms
is
of like
reporting fair?
Well, that's a fair question. Because I know if I encounter people who sabotage games or cheat or leave or whatever, I'll report them. Not because they're better than me. I mean, if they're better than me, then more power to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely if they're obviously cheating, or my main issue is leavers, where in that case I'll report them for game sabotage.
Yeah, I love the fact that that players have the ability to report. However, there are so many instances of those players doing exactly what you're saying, Zelius. Oh, you must be cheating. No, they're just better than you are, and them lashing out because of their inadequacies. Or you have those cases where maybe you're playing. You've got your squad-based game, and the other team wipes the floor with you, and it turns out there's someone in your party that was randomly assembled who isn't the best. And so you have all these people, just like heaping on against that person, which is one of the reasons why I stopped playing certain games, because I can't deal with people trying to throw me under the bus for the fact that I can't play a specific character well.
Well, for me, I think it also is the length of the game. So, like Overwatch, for instance, most of the games are relatively short. So it still happens, absolutely, but there's only so much time to flame your teammates. Whereas in a game like
League of
Smite
Legends
or League of Legends, those games can drag on and on. And so you got lots of time to flame your teammates to the point of like wanting to rage quit at that point.
Yep.
So, I do think Blizzard was onto something there with the relatively short matches. Same thing with Heroes of the Storm. I don't know if Heroes of the Storm's still around.
That was actually part of Team 1 as well.
Oh, I enjoyed it when I played it. I didn't play it too much, but it was an enjoyable game when I played it.
Yeah.
But that was also kind of a distillation of other MOBA elements of games.
Well, it's just because they weren't able to truly copyright Dota, what's it? Defenders of the Ancients, is that what it is?
Yep.
Which was something that was it StarCraft first, or was it Warcraft?
It was Warcraft.
It's basically a mod that was made, and then of course people are like, oh, I got it, and so they made whatever.
They had their chance.
The sad thing is that Blizzard was the first company to really try to hook into college esports, and
Yeah.
they had that competition called Heroes of the Dorm, and of course that went bye bye because I'm sure that Activision's like, no, we don't want to support these flunkies. Anywho,
They'll soon be your next employees.
yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah, so I'm all for banning and legitimate, for legitimate issues. Uh, 30 million in one fell swoop is a hell of a number. And I don't know. I would be fearful. First of all, makes great news, and it got an additional a person who's never heard of the game to at least look at it, i.e. Zelius, because he's never heard of the game. Now he knows a little bit more about the game, so it worked. But I would be fearful of, you know, keeping that big a number of cheaters and then all of a sudden dropping it, and I don't know, fracturing your player base or making most of your player base go away. I don't know what that, 30 million, I don't know what the player base is, but to me, that's a hell of a drop. Hell, there's not 30
Well,
million players playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now.
so speaking of cheating, so this is kind of a little bit of an argument I actually got into on Reddit
Mm-hmm.
about Overwatch. So one of the worst elements to me of competitive, I'm talking only competitive, where you have like ratings, um, is levers in games.
Yep.
Because in Overwatch, for instance, it's always 6v6. And a competition is going to last 2 months. And basically, if you lose a player,
You're dead.
you're gonna lose. I mean, yes, there's always that like 2% chance your team can win.
Mm-hmm.
It happens rarely, but yes, you're pretty much lost. And usually it snowballs to other players leave. And of course, there's always, the same chance that a player in another team leaves. So you have a better chance of winning, but I also want to have an entertaining match.
Right.
So there's a small SR penalty. So SR is your strength rating.
Mm-hmm.
And you have like a 10-minute ban, basically, if you leave early, which to me, basically, obviously, doesn't really, it's not a deterrent.
Right.
So I argued that because it's competitive,
Mm-hmm.
meaning you're actually going for a ranking, is that there should be severely escalating um, repercussions for leaving a match in the form of, which granted was really harsh to start with because you always negotiate back.
Right.
My initial proposal was first time you get this, first time you leave a match, you're banned for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Within that same season, second time is a day, third time is a week, fourth time is a permaban for the entire season. And of
That
course, the
escalated
argument
quickly.
they did escalate quickly. And of course, the argument against that is always, well, what if your internet's crappy? And my response is simple: if your internet's crappy, then don't play competitive. They have arcade, they have quick play, they have all these other modes. They're not competitive. But if you're playing competitive and your internet is not stable enough that you disconnect over 4 times over a span of 2 months, then you need to either not play competitive or get a better ISP. Because when you disconnect, you're detrimentally affecting the gameplay of 11 other people every time that happens.
Right. And I I I agree that a 5 minute or 10 minute penalty is just asinine. Maybe if you're playing in like a casual match, you rage quit, then yeah, 5-10 minute timeout.
I don't care about casual match. I think people should be able to leave all they want. That doesn't
No,
bother me.
I still
Well,
fuck
at
that.
least
What
in Overwatch.
you're
Well, at least in
someone who
Overwatch.
doesn't, someone who has no way of ever getting to the point of doing something competitive, but wants to have a good time. You're saying it's okay for anyone and everyone to drop out because there's no penalty.
Well, here's why. It's because in Overwatch you have fillers. So if I leave a match within 30 seconds, somebody's going to come fill my spot. Over in competitive, you don't have that. So once somebody drops, they're done.
Right, but there are some games that don't have that, that filler
Yeah.
option.
If it's non-competitive play, it doesn't bother me in the least if people leave early. Like,
Oh,
because
it
that's the
pisses
whole
me
point.
off. Look, I'm putting it as a gamer. I'm putting time in, even if it's not competitive. I want to, in my own world, I want to be competitive in this casual match. So why would I be okay with random Joe Schmo going, I don't feel like it, and
Because if
dropping?
I want to play competitive with that type of pressure, then I'll play a competitive match.
But sometimes you have to build up to it. You can't immediately just jump into the deep end without your floaties, having never swim a day in your life, Zelius.
Well, maybe that's why I left my casual games because my floaties burst.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I do want to pause real quick to do friends of the show, and then we'll be back uh, uh, to the topics. And actually, what we've got right here, this wonderful discussion that Zealous and I are having, is leading into the next question that was asked of me by uh, who the hell was it? Oh gosh, it was like a friend of my dad or something. Anyways, let's keep it as vague as possible. Okay, so here's friends of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to http://indiecluster.com. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to www.herochiropractic.com. Nerdburger Games is the game design imprint of award-winning RPG designer Craig Campbell. Craig has done a whole bunch of RPG design freelancing in the past. Several years ago, he dove into designing his own RPG. Now, Nerdburger Games has multiple RPGs and is showing no signs of stopping. Nerdburger Games endeavors to create games that explore corners of the RPG landscape that haven't been explored, or haven't been explored very often. These games forego dense gaming mechanics in favor of a lighter rule set that allow players to focus on telling fun, engaging, memorable stories. After yet another successful Kickstarter, their library has increased in size. Currently, the games that at least Zelius and I have played are Capers, Die Laughing, Merzen Acquisitions, and of course, the soon-to-be played Good Strong Hands. For more information, go to www.nerdburgergames.com. Battle and Brew is Atlanta's first and oldest gaming bar and restaurant. Opened in 2005, Battle and Brew had a very modest menu, a few beer taps, and focused heavily on gaming. Now they have grown to encompass so much more. They pioneered geek trivia in Atlanta and remain the hardest trivia in town. They have upgraded the menu from only a few items to all your bar favorites, and some soon-to-be favorites. They've expanded the gaming and kept everything top of the line. They've taken a good place and made it a great place. A place where the staff listens to your desires and suggestions. A place where you and your friends feel like you're at home. A place where everyone knows your game. For more information about Battle and Brew, go to www.battleandbrew.com. So back to the discussion. The question was asked of me, Charlie, since you've been like a gamer forever, is there like, that time where you actually felt like you've achieved something? Which, of course, I took as when you were at your best online gaming, Zelius, Sam, rest of the audience. What was the game and how good were you?
I'll say in Rift, which is a MMO that most people probably actually don't know of, there was this class called a Chloromancer. And basically, the way you played it is you basically cast a spell that was basically a team wide buff where the more damage you did, it healed your raid basically. And I was actually pretty well known on our entire realm as a really good Chloromancer. So I guess that's my gaming claim to fame. Is I was really good at this one MMO for like 6 months,
Yes.
and then they came out with an expansion, and it went free to play because another company bought it, and I stopped caring. I forgot who. I think it's the same company who actually owns what's the Defiance. Who was that?
Turbine?
Maybe. I think it was this. I want to say it was the same. No, it wasn't Turbine. I forgot who it was, but
Oh,
somebody remember.
Tryon Worlds.
Yes, Tryon Worlds. That's who it is.
Yep.
It's Tryon bought it or sold it or something because I know Tryon was involved, and then it went free to play, and that's when I stopped playing. It was a great game for a while. One of the things I actually really liked about Rift, which was very unique to MMOs at the time, is you only had to have one character because your class changed depending on the weapon you held. And because most MMOs, like if you want to change classes, you have to log out and log in. And it was cool because you're part of a guild. That's the whole one of the purposes of playing MMOs, the social atmosphere. And so when you play with alts, well, now you have to make sure your friends or your guild mates or whoever knows, so you're still on that friendly platform. But I liked Rift because you could just switch your weapon and boom, you're a totally new class and you still have the same social whatevers. Of course, if you just want to annoy your friends, you can always have an alt.
Right.
But at least for staying in with those alts, you're still right there in the same game. So yeah, that was my game at once upon a time. That was a fun MMO.
For me, it'd probably have to be one of the high res games. It would either be Smite or Paladins would be my guess. I got pretty good at playing Paladins and Smite, but it's been a hell of a long time since I played either of those games. Actually, I played Paladins within the last year just to see if I could still do it, and then I felt completely like a noob. And of
Did they
course,
still have that like card level up system?
so they revamped it like several times.
I actually really thought that was a cool system.
They still have cards per se, if I remember right. Um, but Paladins have gun, will travel. That's the character I used was the teleporting flanker. So I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that's literally what I do. I'd run around, shoot people while my teleport portal was counting down, and once it counted down, I'd get shot right back to where I left the portal. But I would say that right now, I mean, I was starting to get a little bit good at Legend of Runeterra. Took a hell of a break. Now I'm back into Legend of Runeterra, sort of, not
I did
completely.
see that. I'm like, Charlie's back to Legends of Runeterra. What do you know?
The interesting thing is that I got back into Legend of Runeterra, and I immediately tried to get right into the newest stuff, the new pieces that weren't there when I was playing Legend of Runeterra first, and I suck. But I called upon like the decks that I used to play when I was trying to play ranked matches, and they still work. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can do this.
Well, there we go. Yeah,
And if you
that's
notice
always
on our YouTube channel, I have started to post highlights from some of the more epic battles that I have been a part of.
nice.
Indeed. But yeah, I would say it's probably one of the high res games. When it comes to MMOs, I don't think I was ever like the guy to go to. I think probably the one MMO that I felt the most powerful in had to be Defiance. And I was hella good in that game. But
That was fun. That was a fun MMO. I liked
yes,
it.
it was. But yeah, if I'm going strictly MMO, it'd probably be Defiance. If I'm going, online esports, it was Paladins or um, Smite, and now it's becoming Legends of Runeterra.
Speaking of Turbine,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of laugh every time I pull up Steam. I still see scrolling through occasionally is Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, wow, that's some old memories from when that first came out.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about old memories? Um, I installed Spore
Ooh,
onto my computer and have been playing that with my son recently.
I never played Spore.
It is still as unique and crazy as I remember it.
Nice.
But yeah. Um, so I do want to pause real quick and address something oh so quickly. Uh, some of you may have noticed that there was an apology video from yours truly that came out this week, and that was based off of the fact that I had failed to check my PO box in a hell of a long time, and so as a result, there were packages that were delivered there that were returned to sender, and I have discovered that one of the packages contained Funko Pops, and there were a ton of them, and Funko's not going to reimburse the person who sent them to me.
Mm.
So I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, man. Actually, I wouldn't have sent you a Funko Pop.
So, anyways, what I will do is take just a brief moment and say, ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion will be participating in Extra Life for the 10th year straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game. What we're going to do is we're trying to raise money for our local Children's Miracle Network Hospital, which, of course, is the Children's Healthcare Atlanta. I believe our current goal is set at $250. You have the ability to join the team if you'd like. I will be doing the 24-hour stream in November. And please, like I said, if you have the ability, please donate to this worthy cause.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So we're going to skip the Patreon thing for tonight because, to be honest with you, I feel a little bit deflated by the fact that I failed anyone who sent me packages. So I really don't want to try to, you know, rep out something that give more attention to stuff that I have not, whatever. So I think in the last day or two, it was revealed that Eli Roth's version of Borderlands movie has gained an additional actor, that being Kevin Hart, who will be rumored to be playing Roland, and Kate Blanchett playing Lilith. So that still leaves a couple of roles open, and I know that Zelius had previously stated that he would love to see The Rock as, oh, now I just forgot the name.
Brick.
Brick.
Oh yeah, it's perfect logical sense, man. Big bald guy kicking ass, taking names.
I feel like there was. The thing is, Borderlands is known for its craziness, so I would be interested to see what kind of craziness they're able to keep in the game. Of course, the main bit of craziness is just the random ass guns that you get with. I feel like you just spin the wheel. This time, this gun has the poison and acid and does this and does that, and it's purple.
Well, I mean, Kevin Hart kind of brings that craziness. I get that. I mean, Lilith is kind of your more grounded, motherly figure to the team, so that makes sense from Kate Blanchett to do that.
Yep.
I would love to see them have, because I forget which Borderlands it is, but you can play like the bad guy through the campaign, whatever you want to call the bad guys. I forget what they're called now. It's been a while since I actually played, but like you can play one of them. But it'd be fun to have like one of basically the bad guys on the team to like just be totally zany and crazy.
So you want
Or the
Handsome Jack?
pirate lady. What's that?
You want someone to play Handsome Jack?
There. Ooh. Or you have you need the pirate lady, Tiny Tina, I think is her name.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you cannot have a Borderlands movie without some form of claptrap.
Oh, you gotta have Claptrap. Ooh, also that like redneck guy who's like out, who has like the whole like racetrack thing.
Yeah.
Because he's comedic. Like, there's just a lot of. I mean, it's funny because I know there's a story because every game has a story. It's not really a story-driven game,
Mm-hmm.
but yet there's the characters that really are memorable in the game at the same time.
Yep. No,
It was just a greatly done game.
Yes, but the thing is, can that greatness, that awesomeness be captured in movie format?
Borderlands is not a game I would have chosen to go into the movie, a live action movie. It's definitely not at the top of my list, but I haven't seen it. But hey, apparently, actually, Monster Hunter was actually a pretty decent movie.
Really?
That's what that's what I've read. I haven't seen it, so I can't really say if it was, but yeah, I want to see it.
I
But
mean, the thing is, I'm sure that the I'm sure that it might be a, a potentially solid movie of Monster Hunter, but the story of how the main character got there, I don't see that ever happening or have happening and any of the there's at no point is there an American soldier that goes through a warp gate into the world of Monster Hunter.
that is such a common like trope, like in these like fantasy games and TV shows and movies where it's like guy from the future, usually with some kind of dark, seedy past, and he's also damaged somehow on the inside, is teleported to the back where he has to redeem himself.
No, if you want to take a page out of Hollywood, just grab a game franchise, then find some way to put American soldiers in there somewhere, and that's what makes the money, baby.
America.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about for Borderlands? You talking about the Psychos?
Yes, the psychos. Yes. I hope they go crazy. Like this is a movie that needs to be rated R. Actually, no, this is almost like a Deadpool like type of movie. Is really what it should be.
Has
Like
Kevin Hart ever been in an R-rated movie? I'm sure he has. I'm sure his specials are R-rated, but like action, you know,
yeah. Well, the other guy who would make sense for that would have been Terry Crews
yeah.
because I mean, he's big, muscular, and he definitely has the comedic chops for
The
those
the
kind
thing
of
is,
one
and
liners.
it's the thing against Kevin Hart is just I don't know. I didn't see Roland as that short.
Kevin Hart does not like when I think of a Borderlands mercenaries going in and kicking ass and taking names. Terry Crews strikes me as him, like Roland. Like I see Terry Crews in him. Sorry, I don't see Kevin Hart.
So for
Like
those out there who are curious, because this shit exists out here, um, the the character Roland in Borderlands has a height of 5'11", weighs 217 pounds, and is 34 years old with brown hair. Sorry, brown eyes and black hair. And just for shits and giggles, Kevin Hart height. They can always pull a Rocky because Sylvester Stallone is actually short as fuck, but they made him look ginormous. Kevin Hart is 5'4".
yes,
So
he is
he's
a
he's
short dude.
7 inches shorter. Yeah,
To be honest, most people probably don't even know. I wouldn't be too worried about that.
true. Um, and I don't know why I want to look this up, but he is rumored to be at 141 pounds.
He doesn't strike you as a big bad like Borderlands guy who's going to go around and kick ass and take names.
Let's see. We got a commenter in the chat going, Terry Crews, the guy from America Got Talent? No way.
Is he really on America's Got Talent?
At this point, yeah, sure. They're all weak actors and not at all scary.
Well, who's a really scary? I mean, Samuel Jackson. I don't know. Denzel Washington. You want to go crazy?
I think they're
They'd be a little bit past their prime to
yeah.
play him. Yeah.
No, if you want to look, how about oh my gosh, the guy who plays Finn in the new the Star Wars, the latest one, John Bodega.
He does not strike me as intimidating. But
No,
then
could
again,
he pull off Roland?
yeah, I can actually see that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, whatever.
But once again, we do not have the Monet that Hollywood has, so they're going to attach actors to whatever role they want to put it.
You saying that you should have been cast in that role? Would you have been a better option, sir?
Hell no. I think that I
Yeah.
should have been part of the casting thought process.
Oh,
I do. Look, if you want pasty white, geeky guy, 6'4", about 200 pounds, I'm your guy. But I ain't
so
going to be
Napoleon
like some.
Dynamite?
Huh?
Napoleon Dynamite.
No. 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 Mm-mm.
Hmm.
Nope. There was a time where people tried to equate me with
Harry
uh
Potter?
no, DJ Qualls.
I have no idea who that is.
Good. It's a good thing. Anyways, moving on.
Bella's still here. Go for it.
Talking let's talking about you know,
Oh yeah.
what?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. He had to look it up, ladies and gentlemen. There was other big news in the movie TV news stream, and that, of course, is that the Muppet Show is coming to Disney Plus, and that makes me very happy. And immediately upon hearing that and just saying it, I can hear the theme song in my head. I'm not going to sing it to you, but if it could be like it was before, that would be awesome. I love me the Muppet Show. Didn't they try to do Muppet Show Tonight or something?
I don't know. I don't really recall ever actually watching the Muppet Show.
I think they actually try to do like like uh like a Colbert or a Jimmy Fallon but they had it as just Muppets.
Could not tell you.
Let me see.
I'm too old to remember the Muppets. It's escaped my brain. It's very
You're
sad.
too old to remember the Muppets? How
I
the hell
you
does
know
that work?
I blame you.
Muppets Tonight. It was on ABC for 2 seasons.
Yep, definitely never saw it.
I loved it. It was basically it was as if you were watching Leno or Letterman or Fallon or uh, Colbert or whatever, but it was with the Muppets being the headliner. I liked it, but that's just me. Anyways, I'm excited. If they do it well, then my kids get to see some awesomeness that is what I grew up with.
Couldn't you just still show them the Muppets? I mean, they're not going to know if it's old or new.
Well, no, because they're going to start Muppet shows over. You're going to be able to see relevant people on it. If I could, yeah, I'll show them the old Muppet show, but you're talking about people, some of which are dead.
Well, don't tell your kids that.
Daddy, who is that guy? Doesn't matter. He's dead, sweetie.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
Well, I tried to get my kids. So we have Disney Plus. I finally caved. Had to get it. I finally got Disney Plus, and I immediately tried to get my Hello Dolly with Kermit. Heck yeah. I tried to get my kids to watch a Disney show from when I was growing up called Gummy Bears, and it bored the
Oh
shit
yeah,
out of them, and it made me cry because like I loved Gummy Bears.
I like eating gummy bears. Can I just eat the gummy bears?
That's a different type of gummy bears, Elias.
Well, that's just silly. There's only one type of gummy bears, the kind you eat.
I don't think that's no. Mm-mm.
I don't know what else you want. Some of us like to eat candy.
But there's nothing wrong with candy, Zelius. That's not the point.
You make it sound like something wrong with my gummy bears, and it kind of hurts my feelings.
Oh gosh, I just pulled up. I think it was the last season of the Muppet Show, which actually ended in
90.
'81, the original one. And here's the headliners: Gene Kelly, he since passed. Um, let's see here. Brooke Shields still alive.
Brooke
Uh,
Shields, wow.
Debbie Harris, I think, is still kicking. Paul Simon, he's still with us. Um, some of these, Carol Burnett, Gladys Knight, Marty Feldman, he's dead. Um, yeah, just Johnny Cash, Linda Rodstadt, Roger Moore. Some solid names there that I would know. My kids would have no freaking idea who they were.
Think of it as a history lesson.
No. Well, and this amazing culture that we live in, where virtual learning is the new norm. Yeah,
Yay!
that's probably that history lesson will probably be more relevant than other pieces of history.
Don't we love our history lessons?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Warm fuzzies, always warm fuzzies.
You know,
Whoops. I accidentally got rid of my topic list. Okay, so we have a wee bit of time left. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on a very soft exit topic,
oh,
which of course is
let's
not going to be
find
a
that.
soft exit topic, and that is, um, you know, as we progress, we know that the future of gaming is becoming more and more digital, more cloud based to kind of cut down on the cost of like the entry to gaming, and so that we can spend more money on the actual games or services, yada yada yada. Of
Ends as a
course,
service.
at the same time, we're seeing that the ISPs have seen internet service providers have seen that they are getting destroyed by with their infrastructure on how much data is being used uh, because most of us are having a social distance, so we're having to rely on that so much. So we're stressing many different sections, and so the solution, of course, is to fix all the issues. No, they're going to put data caps in place and then charge the hell out of you for going over.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, what does that mean for gaming?
Uh, Honestly, for most people, I don't think it really means a whole lot. In terms of, I know that there was the article you posted about the guy. What's the Amazon streaming service called again? I
Luna.
forgot. Luna. Well, it depends, right? So I always think of it as a lens as a bachelor. That's kind of one of my drawbacks, right? So
Yep.
I looked at his numbers. I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, huh, I'm not going to hit that. But that's by myself, which I totally understand. Now all of a sudden, if I had three roommates, let's just say I hypothetically had all three roommates kind of in my same socioeconomic situation,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden that pretty quickly starts to break down. Or if you have a family, so I think that's more so the issues. It's not people in my situation. I mean, that's a lot of data for one person to go through. Not
Correct.
that I can't be done, but it is. Um, but when you start talking families and you talking digital learning and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that's where it really starts to break down. And I know video game companies would love to do streaming as a service, basically the Netflix model.
Yep.
That's basically what you have going on with the PlayStation Net, the PlayStation Now and the Xbox Gold
Yep.
Live, whatever they call theirs. I mean,
Game Pass.
Game Pass. That's what they're going for. I mean, they're great
No.
deals, but that's what they want is that solid 10 to 20 bucks a month from every person who's playing their console.
Mm-hmm.
A predictable perpetual license model
Yep.
is what they want. And on one hand, like on the PlayStation, at least for the PS4 and PS5 games, I can download those. The PS3 games, you can only stream those. You can't actually download them. So you're already kind of forced a little bit into that streaming world, which isn't going to affect me. But if you're doing something like, let's just say the Luna or the Stadia, where you have to stream everything,
Yep.
if you got two or three people in your house playing that, yeah, you're going to blast through those data caps pretty dang quickly. And the frustrating part is like the data caps aren't necessary. If they invested the money that the government had basically given them for free years ago,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
uh,
whoa! Those executives need those multi-million-dollar paychecks. Okay, don't you dare say that they should have actually spent the money on the common man, the consumer. Shame on you, Zeus. Shame on you.
I know I live in a very idealistic world. I totally understand that. I'm an idealist. In my idealistic world, they would have spent the money in the way that they were supposed to spend the money. Um, and we would have had improved infrastructure across the board already. But yeah, it, yeah.
Ladies and
So I mean,
gentlemen, write to your
yeah.
Congress people. It's time to deregulate the ISPs, your telecommunication companies. You want to fix this? Then let it be just like, you know, franchises. Have someone have one company that basically supports the entire infrastructure, And then you have companies that come in, basically like the gas companies that you have all over the U.S. They, siphon off the internet and they give you the best deal.
Yeah.
But that'll never happen because the leader of the FCC is in Verizon's pocket. I mean, he's still getting a paycheck. So he has no desire to change that. But yeah. If Sam says our politicians should stand up, if most of them could. Internet costs way more in America than anywhere in Europe. That's not the only thing that costs way more here than anywhere else. But that's besides the point. Look, I think that there are definitely situations, a bachelor situation, where you're not going to hit that data cap. But when you're talking about, let's say for my current setup, my current life, as it were, I have a kid who's virtual learning, who's on Zoom calls, 4 days a week, at least 4 hours out of each day. So that's 16 hours of Zoom calls. On top of that, you have me, who does at least 6 or more hours of streaming a week, plus the Thursday night show, plus any of the many team calls, Microsoft Team calls or WebEx calls or BlueJean calls that I have to do for work. And then, of course, you have my wife who has to do the same. Huh?
BlueJean?
Yeah, man. Yet another one. Just another one, man.
They just keep on coming. They don't stop.
Yeah, exactly. So you have 3 people who I think we could, start tickling that data cap simply by, accidentally watching some Netflix while we work with everything on top.
Yep.
And then let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that there are a lot of companies out there that love the following requirement to their games: always online.
Sure. So that's even more data. It all adds up.
Yeah. And that cloud compute. I mean, cloud gaming, and a family of 4, where my kids play. Let's say if we're strictly cloud-based gaming, we play at least an hour every single night. So you're talking, 30, 31 hours, just that chunk, plus the, let's say, an additional 30 hours for my Altered Confusion streams. So that's now 60 hours. Plus, yeah.
I'm looking at my data usage for the last 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. October was 200. November was 200. December gets to 426.
Mm-hmm.
And then January, which is probably from installation of the games from the PlayStation 5, is 510 gigabytes.
Yeah.
And that's by myself. And most of that is, I mean, I really don't stream nearly as much as I used to, just with work and everything. So I'm not really streaming, I think probably more than I'm definitely streaming right now less than your average household.
Right.
But the majority of those downloads are going to be from video games. And that was probably just only like 4 or 5 games I downloaded. So it's not like and that's on one console. So you figure a house, if they have, that's not unfeasible that they got more than one console, more than one PC. I mean, if you have a house with 3 kids, you might have more than one. So that's just me alone. I've already gone through half of that terabyte data cap. And it's not actually technically the end of January. And
still
actually
have
part
time.
of that is work, because when I was at home for quarantine, I was having to do some work from home of downloading images and stuff. So that further complicates the whole, people are working from home.
So let's see here. Since Zeely's pulled it up, I'm pulling mine up. In the month of November, it was 938 gigabytes.
Ooh.
In December, it jumped up to 956. And January, we're still not at the end yet. I'm at 927.
Damn, man, you're consistent.
Hello, whatchamacallit? Oh, what the? And it says here, you have one courtesy month to exceed
Yep.
a 1229 gigabyte of usage without charge. Well, gee,
They,
that's thanks.
they make it sound so benevolent.
Yeah.
It's a courtesy of you that we're allowing you to go over without explicit here.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Trying to not get it rated like NC-17.
Look, here's the deal. At the end of the day, technology advances, gaming is changing where most of it's going online in some shape or form, some for protection to make sure that you're not using a pirated copy or to allow for your anti-cheat software to connect to the server to make sure you're not pulling any fast ones. And then of course you got your streaming of videos and all that stuff. So we're gonna get to a tipping point, and for me personally, I'm getting really freaking close. Where if I were to go with some sort of like gaming model gaming console, which was almost strictly streaming, I'd be dead. I wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't be feasible for me because I don't want to pay I don't want to. I would be I would be willing to pay the subscription service. However, I would be unwilling to pay the overage charges that would probably smack me upside the head every single month.
Those would get rough.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't, yeah. And think about it. Your kids don't even really, I mean, I know they do, but it's not like they're sitting there with their own dedicated PS5.
Right. They do have tablets that they get to use for an hour and a half on Saturdays and Sunday mornings, and they're streaming like videos or something. So they're
But
still
that's a lot less than your average teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, teenagers gonna be a whole heck the teenagers gonna have a lot more bandwidth usage than that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the reality is, I mean, you think about it, like 7-8 years from now, we're going to be more entrenched in this whole streaming as a service world that we're already in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of our show. So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelius, it's been a pleasure giving you everything on our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. And we're out, ladies and gentlemen. Let me bitch about one more thing, real quick. Now that the show's over, I just want to look. I am so freaking over. Look, the time has come for people to understand that the cable cutters are here to stay. And please, for the love of God, the companies that are trying to basically hold their TV stations hostage, I want to tell you, give me your address, I'll come and punch you in the balls. No, seriously. My biggest issue right now, I live in Atlanta. I am an avid Atlanta Hawks fan. I've yet to see an Atlanta Hawks game because I have YouTube TV. And YouTube TV does not have a license agreement with the regional sports network, which is part of the Fox Sports Network. There is the option to watch it on NBA TV. However, because I'm in the Atlanta area, it's unavailable. So the only way that I'd be able to watch the Hawks would be to buy the entire NBA TV package for the year, which I think is some astronomical cost. So please, whomever owns the regional sports networks for Fox, suck it up, Buttercup. Give me what I need. There's the option to stream on the internet. Yes, there is. Sam, there is. I'm trying to find out how much it costs. NBA TV. I guess it's called All Access. I think is what it's called. Here we go. NBA TV and League Pass. An annual fee of $150. Or if I just want the Hawks games, I could pay $90 a year. I mean, I love the Hawks, but I ain't gonna pay an additional $90 because the regional sports owner let me see if I get the whole story. Fox Sports South YouTube TV. Let's see here. See, the move comes after YouTube and Fox first spoke publicly that Fox channel's leaving YouTube TV in February, but this was February 2020. But they were able to come to agreement to carry the rest of MLB, NBA, and NHL seasons through 2020. As the NBA and NHL seasons come to an end, and with MLB set to finish around the end of October, Fox and YouTube's agreement is also being severed. Approximately 19 channels were impacted by this move. Fox Sports Arizona, Carolinas, Detroit, Florida, Indiana, Kansas City, Midwest, New Orleans, Fox Sports North, Fox Sports Ohio, Fox Sports Time Ohio, Fox Sports Oklahoma, Prime Ticket, which is Los Angeles, San Diego, Fox Sports South, Fox Sports Southeast, Fox Sports Southwest, Fox Sports Sun, Fox Sports Tennessee, and Fox Sports Wisconsin. And of course, they went on like, well, we're trying to find a mutually acceptable path, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So the only way to get it would be to get AT&T Uverse. No. Never, damn it, never. Okay, I'm done with my rant. So, thank you for tuning